Okay, looks like we're live, maybe. I get everything set up, and then I click on it, and then I got to reset it up. Okay. Looks like the microphone is working. There's Josh. He's here early today. All right. Let's do a little, let me click on the right screen. Oh, I see. All right. Let's do a little cover our ass maneuver right quick. There we go. So we got our ass covered. It's a shame that it's come to that in this world today, that covering your ass is the top priority. I'll tell you where it really slaps me in the face. Of course, I don't go often, but it's when you go to the hospital, especially the emergency room. It's just amazing. If you really watch it, what they're doing, every step of the way, okay? It's like 80% of what they're doing is covering their ass. 20% of what they're doing is trying to fix whatever the hell's wrong with you. But 80% is them covering their ass. And it's sad that we've come to that. It really is. Looks like we got a pretty good signal going today. I don't see any drop frames yet. Of course, I ain't doing any kind of severe wild movement. That seems to make me drop a frame or two. I don't think my internet connection can keep up. But hell, we're only doing 30 frames per second. That's not a whole lot. It should keep up with that. And there's Adrian. Oh, it's Clint Eastwood. I do not know. Adrian. He's old. Hell, I'm old, and he was kind of old when I was young. So it's a possibility. I really liked him. He was one of the. I loved almost all of his movies. There was a few that, and it wasn't his fault because when actors are just coming up, they take a job, and it depends on the writer of the story and the director of the movie, just how good, it turns out to be, regardless of the actor, So, but I like nearly every one of his movies. I really like the old spaghetti westerns. I can watch them. Just put them on a loop, watch them 24/7. Of course, I have to explain why they're called spaghetti westerns, but well, Adrian, you're only going to get on the news what they want you to get. So if for some reason your government don't want you to know if Clint Eastwood died or not, you ain't going to find out. Oh. Now, I'll tell you what I do when I ask you, Adrian, because I know over in the UK, the the laws on betting on certain things are a whole lot different than in the U.S. In the U.S., they've got certain laws, and there's Andrew. They've got certain laws that prohibit us from betting on certain events and certain things. Like we can't bet on, we can't make a legitimate bet on who's going to win an election or something like that. They won't let us do it. And Josh says he's not dead. It was a hoax. So there you go. More fake news. I mean, it's like, it's 90% fake, 10% real. That's the world we live in today. And I categorize at least 50% or maybe even more. It would be interesting to find out what percentage of the fake news is, what's the word? A distraction. Just how much of the fake news was actually thought up, designed, and produced as a distraction, not just, fake news, but we'll put this out here, get everybody's attention over on this, get them off of this. We don't want them on this, But yeah, I just wonder, I'd be curious to know what percent of fake news is a distraction instead of other, just attention seeking and stuff like that, but is actually a propagandist distraction type thing. If that's the right way to say it. I don't know. Oh, but what I was gonna wonder is, because I know y'all over in the UK, you can get a line on all sorts of things, and I was wondering if there's a line on when YouTube is going to let us talk openly about COVID. I just wonder if there's a line on that. Well, hell, Adrian, you don't gamble? Come on, man. I look at gambling differently than a lot of people do. It's what paid for my house. So, but you gamble when you cross the street. Is that idiot going to stop at the red light, or is he going to run me over? So you don't have to pick up a pair of dice to gamble. Now, I do have a little vaping news, and I'm always the last one to the damn party for some reason. I guess because I don't constantly live in the vape world, maybe, or keep up with it probably like I should, since I do have a channel and I do a live show. I should probably keep up a little closer than I do, but I got other things. I got a life, I got other things to do. And well, that's true, Adrian. That is true. You have to have to do it like me and my wife did. You have to have a ton of discipline, and you have to devote many hours of practice, and treat it like a job. If you treat it like a job, you can most of the time you can do well. But if you just if you get addicted, which it is, addicting, you got to watch that too. And you like Josh saying, you got to have self-control. You got to have just, I mean, if you had ever actually saw me and my wife at the casino and didn't know us and just walked up and watched us play, you would know. You would say to yourself, "Well, damn, they're working. They're not playing. They're not gambling. They're actually working." Uh, you know, and that's the reason we um, came out ahead, you might say. Plus, uh, like I say, tons of research, practice, everything went into it. So most people aren't willing to devote that. Um, so, and that's usually the ones that do poorly. I've had people sit down beside me and ask me, "How do I play this?" It'd be a video poker, machine. That's almost all we played exclusively. As far as machines, they'd sit down next to me. "How do I play this?" I said, "Well, hold on, buddy. Hold on. Just how much are you gonna put in that machine?" "Oh, I was gonna put $20 in." "Well, just hand it to me." "Thank you. Now go away." Seriously. You know, yeah. So it's like, and I try to tell them, I said, "Look, there's websites you can go on where you can practice, you can learn the strategies, and you can learn how to play this." I said, and it has most of them I guess there's still some out there, but most of them had tutorials where you could play and it would keep up with how many times you did the correct play. In other words, pick the right cards to hold, and how many times you messed up and it's not other. I would tell them, I say, "Look, go practice. And when you get to where you can play 95 or better percent correct for 2 hours straight, when you get to that stage, okay, come back to the casino, put your money in the machine. But until then, just stay home and practice because you're not ready. Your odds of losing are, drastic, So now see, Josh, you got it basically harder where you live because this is another deal that if you're going to for sure gamble, you got to learn the laws of the gambling laws in your state. You got to learn all the little particulars, and that's the reason I only gamble in Nevada, and I do not gamble at Indian casinos because their gaming regulations I think are a hair different. And the main reason was, as far as Nevada goes, on video poker machines, they have to the software, okay, has what's called a shuffle algorithm, and it basically mimics a person dealing from a deck of cards, okay, a 52 deck of cards. Yeah, it mimics that, and it's the law. It has to. It can't just, uh, uh, you know, don't decide on a whim whether to let you win or lose. It has to, it's built into the software, and the only thing they can change, the casinos can't change how often you win or lose. The only thing they can change is how much it pays when you get a winning hand. Now they get to decide that, okay, and they can change that, but they can't change how often it, say, deals you a particular set of cards. And there's Neil. How you doing, buddy? But in New Jersey, I know that the video poker machines there are just like slot machines. They can change them. It's they just change it. It's total random number generator that decides whether you're going to win or lose. It and they can, it's just a little dip switch on the hole, and just going to flip the little switch. and change the percent of payback on the machine. They can't do that in Nevada, but there in Jersey, there is no difference between playing a plain old slot machine, playing a video poker machine, and even out here in Nevada, they had to actually back in the day they had to label them differently because some machines had multiple games, and some of the games would be card games, and it would kind of be video poker. But when you if you selected that game, when it came up, it said slot, okay? And then if you selected a real video poker game, it would say video poker up on the screen. It had to display it. And because it had to tell you that, oh, you're not playing real video poker anymore, even though you're playing with cards. You're playing a slot machine. So, all right, Josh. So anyhow, that was the, totally off topic. What's on topic nowadays? Fagan claims he's going to have, what is it, tomorrow night? Fagan claims he's going to have a show about vaping. We'll see. I would go on his show. I don't mind. I'd go on his show and talk strictly nothing about but vaping. Nowadays, it's going to be hard to talk that long about vaping unless you put in a lot of filler, And there's Robert. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for dropping by. I should be able to watch y'all's show tonight, and I might even come in the Zoom a little later. Now, I do have a tad of vape-related stuff. Somebody posted on one of my old videos, I think it was for the J. Hayes clone RBA thing. Yeah, I saw that whole box. I caught some of that show where everybody sent him all that stuff. I just hope he ain't waiting for me to send him something. I hope, I'm sorry, I don't, I don't do that. But, yeah, I saw that. It was amazing. I guess, hey, if you got the money to blow, okay, and I'm kind of the same way to a degree, just not on my vaping stuff, and definitely not on something that I had to go buy. Now, if a company had sent me a bunch of stuff to review, I'll probably keep one. I'll give the rest away. I don't have a problem with that. But as far as me going out with my own money, that's a different story. I'm too tight. I'm sorry. It ain't like I ain't got the money. It's just I'm too tight. I'm just a tight fucker. I just can't do it. I just my hand. You remember Fred Sanford? What did he used to do? He did something like this. I don't remember. But yeah, it was like the other day when I was going to order some of these. I'm afraid they were clones though, but it probably wouldn't matter for the price. But there was a place out that had some old of these Cirrus OBS Cirruses, and they were like $2.99. Oh shit! I gotta get me some of them. I don't care. $2.99. I'll set 5 of them on the shelf. Got down to checkout. $15 signature fee on the shipping and signature fee. $15 for a $3 item. And I wanted to click. I wanted to click the button, and I just couldn't do it. Yeah, I just couldn't do it. So, of course, in all reality, You know, I might have used one. The rest was set on the shelf till probably I die. My wife throws them in the trash or sells them, one or the other. But back to the other topic, as far as people giving stuff away. Now, I finally decided to sell my drag bikes, and one of them I'm selling complete. You know, the whole unit. Now, the other one, I had taken the motor out and taken it apart way years ago. I was going to freshen the motor up because it was my spare bike. When my big bike broke, then I raced this one because I usually race the points series. And if you just showed up and made a, you know, one pass, well, you got a few points. And if you were up in the top three, and as far as leading the points, well, you didn't drop down very far. Whereas if you hadn't showed up at all, you know, you would have dropped a lot of in the ranking, a lot. So anyhow, I decided I'd take the motor apart and freshen it up. Well, I quit drag racing before I got back in, before I put it back together. So that bike I'm selling in a part at a time, in pieces, you know. And I will probably at the very end, because I'm way out here in the middle of nowhere, the old frame, which is, it's a good frame, but it's real old style. It's real old school frame. I'll probably just give that away to somebody, you know, because I can't see, I can't see somebody driving way out here to buy that style frame. I just don't see it happening. So I'll give it away, you know. So, you know, a few things I'll give away, but not, I'm not going to buy something and give it away. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I'm too tight. I don't understand. Now, Neil, I think I've seen videos. Never paid much mind to them, but I have seen videos about those die codes. What's supposed to be the big deal about them? I mean, I know everybody shits their pants about a DNA chip. I'm sorry, I don't see that either. But I guess never knew what the big deal about the die codes chip thing was, or whatever. Is it the chip or is it the whole damn mod? But I noticed everybody was shitting a ring around themselves over it. But well, in my price range, I don't need a $250 mod to vape. My little $20 plastic Johnny right here is hell. I've had it for 2 years now, still working just perfect. Hmm. Well, I can see where it would be complicated to use if you only got one, if you're going off of one button. And I think I vaguely remember a video. Somebody did a video and showed how to operate it, and it was just a one button thing. Yeah, I don't know, Adrian. You're right. I mean, how many people out there still do temperature control? You know, I'm sure there's few, but I don't. I tried it. It was too much of a pain in the ass for me. I guess if you're bored, you're sitting around or whatever. Some people might use it. Some people, hey, if you like it, you like it. That's all you. Yeah, Neil, I don't even need wattage. You give me voltage, I'm happy. Because guess what? And I've said this before and got a lot of flack from it. But guess what happens when you change the wattage? The voltage changes. In fact, that's what actually changes. It's how much voltage gets pumped to your coil when you change the wattage. So, and I caught a hell of a lot of flack over the years for saying that. But sorry, in reality, when you change, let's say you go from 20 watts to 30 watts, in reality, all that happens is the mod sends some more voltage to your coil. When we all started vaping, the only thing you could change was the voltage. Yeah, Andrew, a lot of the cheaper, not low end, just less expensive mods. And there's Brett. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming in. A lot of the less expensive mods have just took the temperature control out, and I don't blame them. I don't know how much extra it costs to load all that shit onto a chip, but especially if you're going to throw it in a starter kit with a sub-ohm tank, and sell it as a starter kit or whatever, do you really need temperature control? Are those people really going to understand temperature control? Do they even want to learn temperature control? I've messed around with that. What the hell they call it? What the hell was the name of it? I forget the acronym. But it's the adjustable curve thing. I played around with that on one of my mods, and it was kind of neat, but you couldn't just set it and forget it, I guess. Well, you could till you changed the coil, and then you had to almost reset it, especially if you changed what kind of coil and all it was. So you had to go back and reset everything, and it was kind of fun to play with. I don't use it anymore, so that's how impressed I was with it. I don't go to that much trouble. But anyhow, back to the original deal on the reason I brought this up. Somebody on the Jay Hayes clone RBA video commented on it and said that they had purchased some wire, some Clapton wire off of Amazon. Well, last time I looked, I don't remember if I looked and it had been a long time ago, I guess. I looked and it either was way expensive, they didn't have it or something. But of course, in the UK, you can buy vape shit off of Amazon, but you can't over here. But anyhow, so I looked and sure enough, hell, here's all this damn, aliens and stapled this and dual core Claptons and all this kind of wire here on Amazon at a pretty reasonable price too, fairly reasonable. So hell, I ordered some, and it actually is probably going to come in today. Of course, it gets delivered to my wife uptown, and I won't get it till late tonight. But it was kind of neat being able to order some vape stuff and get it in 2 days instead of 3 weeks. That was just, oh shit, we're shitting in high cotton, It was great. So I don't know how good the wire's going to be, because it's definitely not, I'm almost positive it ain't going to be handmade wire. It's going to be a machine-made wire, but, we'll see. We'll give it a shot, But it is, I'll do some videos when I get it in and I figure out device I want to stick it in. And I'm gonna do a video basically for, it won't be for y'all, basically, because everybody here in the chat, well, probably watching live, is experienced vapors. You know, you might want to watch and see what the quality of the wire looks like, you know, and whatnot. Hell, half of y'all probably already are buying the stuff and didn't tell me about it. Well, Brett, the stuff I found, I don't know if they got, do they have actual coils on Amazon? I mean, the U.S. Amazon, not the UK, but do they have actual coils on Amazon, pre-wrapped? I don't see how they can sell them. Because they have to cheat and say that this is heating wire, home heating wire, they claim, to get it to the rolls to sell, because these are in rolls. These aren't pre-made coils, pre-wrapped coils. What I bought was in a roll. Well, I wonder how long they'll get away with that. Guess till somebody reports them, probably. I don't know. It's a mess. Did it say where they were made, where the wire was made, or where they were made, Brett? I'm sure, I don't know where, I didn't pay close attention to where the wire was, where they claimed the wire was made that I bought. But I'm assuming it's China. I might be pleasantly surprised, but I'm not holding my breath. But anyhow, it looks like they're sneaking in a few little things, odds and ends. And like I say, I don't go and, you know, I'm late to the party because I just don't go and, you know, hunt and see, you know, see what's there. I guess I should, but I don't. Well, I didn't know Coalology closed down. You know, I didn't do that. I should have. I should have bought a bunch of stuff uh, as right before Fast Tech closed, of the, you know, stuff like that, coils, this, that, and another, the miscellaneous stuff. I should have bought a bunch of that stuff, but I didn't do it. Well, I didn't know Coalology was China coils. You would think I'd know more about this shit. I did mix me up some juice the other day, a couple of new juices, and Josh is supposedly sending me some that he made. He mixed up, and we'll give them a try when they get here. Well, there's Cameron. How you doing, buddy? Did you get those on Fast Tech before they shut down? Is that what you're talking about too? I had just been making my own single Clapton wire myself. Little homemade jig I made. I even made a dual core, if I can say that right, deal, but it it was kind of a pain. It turned out all right though. Normally, Brett, I like mine full Canthal. I like 20, about a 27, 26 gauge wrapped with 32 or 34. But I like to do, I mean, I've got some over here that's hybrid. It's stainless steel and Canthal mixed. Um, some that's all stainless steel. But I really kind of like the way I vape. I like the full Canthal because it's a lot higher resistance, and I can do a relaxed vape with one of those coils, a higher resistance coil. Yeah, there's no hurry on that, Josh. Just whenever, buddy. I never get in a hurry anymore. That's the neat thing about being old and retired. You don't have to be in a hurry. Other thing is you don't have to plan that far into the future. You know, I don't have to plan 60 years ahead into the future anymore. I know that might sound morbid, but hey, it's all in how you look at things. Yeah, Cameron, I know what you're talking about there. That's why when I do mine, that's why I like the single core Claptons because you don't have that huge mass heating up. And you get what I call the afterburn effect, where it just keeps crackling after you let off the button for a long time. And to me, that's just cooking your juice, and shortening the life of your cotton. And that's why I usually don't do coils that have a lot of mass, big gauge wire. Oh, Adrian, he's all right. He's all right. He, his shoulder's a little sore where, he got slammed into the door because the car moved. He didn't move. So, and it moved kind of sideways to a degree because of how he got hit. And so his shoulder's a little sore. But that's about it, I think. And maybe his neck's a little sore because you always get a little, if you're not really braced, you'll get a little whiplash effect. Well, back a long time ago, Josh, I guess when I was about 35, I didn't figure I would make it 10 more years. I really didn't. Because, back in them days, I mean, I smoked. I was just a tad overweight, but I wasn't real overweight. But I did smoke, and I drag raced motorcycles every weekend, and I rode motorcycles on the street almost every day. That was my main means of transportation. So theoretically, if you looked at the percentages and the odds, if I kept doing that, I really shouldn't have made it 10 more years. I should have been splattered, but here we are, But yeah, he's just a little sore. Of course, it totaled his poor little old car, and anytime you're, regardless of how, and he had kept this car up. I mean, the paint job didn't look the best, but he had actually kept the mechanical part of it up. And, he would take off to California or hell, Vegas in a heartbeat in that thing, and, never let him down. But the value, the blue book value of it is not going to be enough to replace it. That's just what happens on, with an old car that you've put a bunch of money in, So, we'll see if he, gets enough to get him. I don't think he'll get enough out of the deal to get him another car as good as the one he had, as far as dependability, not looks, but the dependability of the car. I don't think he'll be able to get another one for that price. Well, I tell you what, Cameron, let me look right quick if I can. What is this going on here? Okay, let's clear that. Let me see what I did order. But some of these descriptions were a little weird. You might say it wasn't what I was used to seeing. The way they listed the. Well, hell, yeah, it says I got it today. Well, I got all of it but one today. Looks like we got 4. Let's see what we got here. Now this is a weird one, and of course I thought about doing this myself, but it would have been a pain. See if I can get the specs on this. Just don't. Okay, one of them is it's supposedly an alien. I've never made an alien coil, so I don't know what passes for alien and what don't. But I don't really think, I'm not sure, but of course can't tell from the description, but I'm not sure this passes for an alien coil. But it says 32 gauge plus 0.30 and 0.38 flat wire. So from that description, it seems like to me they took a piece of ribbon wire, flat wire, I call it ribbon wire, and they wrapped up some 32 around it. Now, to me, I don't know that you could really classify that as a true alien coil from what I've seen a long time ago when people were, first making those. Of course, now down here of course, you know how Amazon is. Of course, down here in the description, it says 24 gauge, I guess wrapped with 30 gauge. Now that would make more sense. I could see, but otherwise, I think the others that maybe the diameter. So I guess it's got to be more than one 24 gauge center to be an alien. You got to have at least, I guess, 2, because otherwise it'd just be a normal Clapton wire. So maybe that's where, maybe the other one is just it's 0.3 this way high by 0.8 wide after it's totally made. So maybe it is a real alien. We'll wait till we get it in and see. It might be a real alien. And what else did we get? We got come on. We got a staggered fused Clapton. 26 plus 32 plus 232. So we got that one, and that's stainless steel. So I got some stainless steel, and I got some that is supposedly Kanthal. And let's see what this one here. So this one's the Kanthal. So we got some. It's just a fused Clapton, and it's supposedly the core is 228 wrapped with 32. That one I have an idea is going to fit me pretty good. Wait, give me the specs. Come on. And then we got an alien Kanthal. And see, well, they don't really give you a very good description of what it's made up of. They don't give you any on this one. So except that it's Kanthal. They give you the dimension of the wire if you actually took the finished wire and measured it with some calipers, which it's the same basically as that other one. Maybe the same as that other roll I ordered, but we'll see. But like I say, I'm on a I'll do some videos on them, but you know they'll be for less experienced vapors than what y'all are. So, but I'm gonna try to break. I even have a bad habit because when you got a stockpile of wire like I got, just regular wire, and even I've got a stockpile of pre-made MTL Clapton wire. You get in a bad habit of when you pull off the wire off the spool, you pull off way more than you need. So in the videos I do for these, I'm going to, because most of these, like I say, the aliens are flat, and even the staggered Clapton should be flat, flattish. It kind of makes some of the coiling tools almost not useless, but less user friendly. I mean, you can throw some round wire or some plain Clapton on one of them and use it the way it's supposed to be used, make you a coil right quick. But when the wire's flat, you're almost better off doing it, wrapping it. You can still use the tool. You just can't use the other one that you put on the end and spin. It just a lot of times won't keep the wire turned the way it needs to be because it's flat, to roll it onto the rod. So I'm going to get a little more chinchy, I guess you might say, with the wire. And I'm going to, I'll predetermine the tank I'm going to put it in. See just the bare amount of legs that need to be left on, just for make the install, okay. Not as easy as having, 6 inches of wire that you can pull around the side and hold tight, but basically just the bare amount, and then get a measurement from that, so we can actually measure the damn wire when I pull it off the spool, instead of just yanking 10 inches and cutting it, and then end up throwing away 4 or 5 inches of wire at the end of the day. So we're going to get a little more professional, let's call it. But I thought it was neat, and the neatest part about it was I got it so quick because it's already there. So she'll bring it home tonight. Well, you know, Cameron, I don't know why anybody uh, in this day and time. Now, I'm assuming the frame on that is either aluminum or uh, that other metal they use. What the hell's the name of it? But you know, it's amazing anybody in this day and time paints shit. You know, especially if it's aluminum, just anodize it. But I'm afraid I'm surprised they anybody still paints stuff now. You know, if you powder coating, okay, I could kind of go with powder coating. It's a hell of a lot better than painting, but it still wears off. It's just a really tough paint, but it still is just it's not, and it's different than anodized. Yeah, Neil, I'm gonna be a little chinchy with this, especially with this wire. And I may start being a little chinchier with my round wire, but I mean, hell, I got so many rolls of that shit, and it was so cheap. You know, you got to watch yourself. You'll get wasteful. You know, it's just we do that. We just get wasteful. But anyhow, I mixed me up a couple of new flavors here the other day, and I missed. Well, I did three actually, and two of them turned out pretty good. One of them I missed. I need to flip the recipe because I only had two ingredients plus sweetener, or two flavorings plus sweetener, but one was a one shot, and I I need to flip it. I need to go uh, very a little on the one shot and a lot on the flavoring because I did a banana and caramel sticky bun one shot, and I went heavy on the caramel sticky bun and light on the banana because the last time I mixed the banana, I could remember it being pretty strong, but I need to flip it. I need to go heavy on the banana and because the caramel sticky bun, once it starts to steep, overtakes the banana, and so I need to flip that one. But I also did a strawberry cream that turned out pretty good, and I did a raspberry lemonade that turned out pretty good. Yeah, Josh, it's just too easy, especially when you're doing round wire, man. You get used to have them big long leads that you can grab and pull and, wrap around the tank and hold with your, wrap around the deck and hold with your finger and all that kind of stuff. It makes it convenient as hell, but man, you waste a lot of wire doing that. And I did try because I was running, I'm not out yet, but I'm running low on my super sweet. And I got a whole bunch of TFA sweetener, just normal TFA sweetener, which I think is sucralose, which is, I think, the same thing as the super sweet, just not as strong. And I tried it first in these recipes, and hell, I even bump. I knew it was because I like my stuff super sweet, and I knew I was going to have to put quite a bit, so I bumped the normal sweetener up to 10%, and that still wasn't enough. I had to add some super sweet to it before I was happy. uh, who has got Neil? Neil. Well, Neil, I can go either way. Uh, I don't really. have a preference. I'm looking here. I got the ones that's sitting here. Two of them are metal and one is plastic. So to me, the length and the size of the hole uh, matters more to me than what the hell it's made out of. I don't like them little bitty short ones. I don't care for them at all. And I don't like the 510s that have a huge hole in it because to me it hurts. I think it hurts the flavor. People may say, "Oh, it don't make no difference," but to me it hurts the flavor. I tell you the ones that I don't like because to me this hurts the flavor. Now here's a metal one, and I don't remember what tank it came out of, but when the design is like this, this is the end with the O-rings, and you see the size of that hole, right? I don't need to get a measurement out, but you see the size of that hole, and then you see the size of that hole. Now, to me, that hurts the flavor because you're restricting it there, and then it's not restricted here. That type of restriction, in my opinion, hurts the flavor. So everybody might argue, but to me, I would actually rather have that size hole going all the way through it. Or at least the same size hole. And I don't like the 510s that are, because even doing a restricted direct lung, I don't like a real big hole. To me, that hurts the flavor. I like to keep the vapor, condensed down, you might say. And but the ones like this that have a little bitty hole, at the intake and a huge hole, the rest of the way through, I just think that hurts the flavor. Yeah, Cameron, hell, my normal mix, my normal mix on anything. It doesn't matter to me if it's bakery or if it's fruit or what. My normal mix is 5% super sweet, Capella super sweet. That's my starting point. And then I decide if I need more. But yeah, that's what I look at in a drip tip is I'd rather have, even if it's big, of course, to me, the bigger it is, the less flavor I get. But it needs to be the same size all the way through. Yeah, I want to taste that shit for 10 minutes after I take a vape. But I warn you, it's just like nicotine levels. You know, uh, if you bump your nicotine level up, you get used to it, and then you got to bump it up again, and you get used to it, and then you got to bump it up again. It's kind of the same way with sweetener. Unless you're a person that just really don't like sweet things, uh, you get it like you like it, and then you vape it a little while. Well, it needs to be sweeter, so you put a little more in. It's kind of another little rabbit hole thing. Yeah, I know, Josh. I know. I know completely what you're talking about. It blows a lot of people's mind, and it's real. It's not fake. Uh, I mean, it's not it's not generic or anything. It's Capella's super sweet. But now it's way too sweet for my wife. Yeah, I don't put any sweetener in her red hot mix, but the vanilla cupcake has a little bit of sucralose in it to begin with. So it's a little sweet, not so I don't have to add any more to it. Now I will say that is one of the only recipes that I can vape, and I'm happy with it. It's her Red Hot's recipe, and it's got some sweetener, but not near as much as I put in these other ones. But I'm happy with it. Maybe because I'm not looking for the sweet. Maybe who knows when it comes to that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you now right off the bat, Josh, that don't get your feelings hurt if I throw a bunch of sweetener in your stuff. I mean, I'll try it the way you mixed it to start with, but I may have to end up throwing some sweetener in it. But I will try it the way you mixed it first. Just be warned. Probably won't send it to me now. Well, if that's the case, Josh, it's every device I got, and I got a slew of them. You know, uh, it wasn't a matter. It's not a matter of flavor. It's really the sweetness because this one I just vaped, this strawberry cream. I mean, I got all the strawberry, all the cream flavor, you know, but it just wasn't, I guess, satisfying, you might say, or something like that, you know. So I sweetened it up, and no, Josh, I don't. Hell, I got one antique, and antiques. God damn it! Hell, it didn't even have a name. Um, RDA. Well, I take it back. I got a clone Velocity. There's Mike. How you doing, Mike? Thanks for stopping by. Mike wants to know: is there any good USA nets? Hopefully, the people in the chat can give him some advice, because I definitely can't. I hadn't vaped a tobacco flavor period in, oh, God knows how many years. But yeah, it's not a matter of flavor, Josh. It's just a matter of sweet. Just like my coffee. I put a hell of a lot of sweetener in my coffee. It's, you know. And it's really, really good coffee. Well, now I did mix me up some, on that note, Cameron, I did actually mix up some juice that had nothing but sweetener. Nick PGVG sweetener. That was it. And I could vape it. I really could. I could vape it. I don't know that I could have vaped it all day. But yeah, it wasn't that bad for me. Now, I'm sure it would have, put some people into a coma, but I was happy with it. Well, Mike, we at the moment it's sidelined, uh, but because I wanted. I got a little. I, it's a very very good tank. I really like it for mouth to lung. It's probably the best mouth to lung. Really really tight mouth to lung tank I got. But it's actually sidelined at the moment. It's not up on the shelf. It's not up on the shelf. But it's just sidelined because I just got a little bit tired of the tight mouth to lung. That was it, and I went back to what I call a restricted direct lung um, tank. But otherwise, it's just. But like I say, it's not on the shelf. It's just sidelined at the moment. Kind of got you get a little a little tired of one way, so you do it a different way type deal. But yeah, it's still it's like I say, it's the best tight mouth to lung device I got. Now, see, Adrian, believe it or not, it's amazing because, of course, over here we drink iced tea. We don't drink uh, hot tea like y'all do. Well, some people do, but the majority of people, especially people in the South, they drink iced tea. Okay, and the authentic Southern iced tea is so strong you can't see through it, and there's enough sugar in it to bake 4 cakes. Uh, so that is the norm is for the South. Now, I'm not talking about the North because they're different breed of folk up there. But in my tea, my iced tea, I don't put anything in it. No artificial sweetener. Of course, I don't use sugar anymore at all in stuff I eat. But I don't even put artificial sweetener in my iced tea. I've learned to drink it just straight, and I think I've done it long enough. I kind of prefer it that way, But for my coffee, yeah, I got to have some sweetener in that. I hadn't got used to drinking it black yet or straight black. Well, Mike, like I said, I think they had 3 of those on that 3F site, and I got the one that wasn't. It wasn't SXKs, and it wasn't the YTD brand, whatever. I forget the analogy for that one. It wasn't that one. It was the plain Jane one. It was uh, the plain Jane clone, and I think I probably bought it because it was cheapest, you know. So, but I hadn't had a minute's trouble with it. I mean, it's nice for the money. It's well worth the money. Now no way in hell would I buy an authentic, but that's just me. But the clone vapes for mouth to lung, and especially if you want a tight mouth to lung, it's very good. No, Mike, I don't think the NETs have taken off over here as well as over in the UK and in Europe. Uh, it's just not as much demand over here as over there. A lot of people over there really like their tobaccos. You know. Yeah, I wouldn't. Hell, ain't no way. I'd fall over dead if I paid $250 for a tank. I seriously would. I'd have a heart attack, fall over dead. We wouldn't have no more lives. I just can't. I just can't do it. And that's one of the reasons why uh, uh, a lot of other reviewers don't like me because I do clones and I try to do stuff the DIY, everything DIY, the cheapest way you can do it, best vape for your dollar. That's my whole deal. You know, of course, and that's another thing I would, to me, the hypocrisy is uh, kind of a weird thing. And way back when, some of y'all might can remember this. The big reviewers uh, had a term they liked to use was team free shit, and it was for people just trying to be YouTube reviewers to get free stuff from companies. Well, now that to me, maybe it's just my imagination, but to me now the tables have kind of turned, and because there's not that many reviewers out there anymore, and the only people getting the free shit is the big reviewers. So who's team free shit now? Just saying, not calling any names. It just seems like the tables have turned on that deal. Yeah. I keep threatening to get an RY4 flavoring. I do. In fact, I think I will next time. Next time I order some flavorings, I think I'll get me an RY4 and just try it. Now, UA, I assume stands for Australia. I assume that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel, and if that's the case, I mean, I really feel for y'all guys. Y'all got it hard. I think y'all got it worse than any other place in the world almost, besides countries that have totally just outlawed vaping completely and have to do everything black market. Yeah, if you're in Australia, you got it really, really hard. Oh no, I'm not. I'm not going to. RY4. That's one of the more popular things I've seen in a lot of recipes, and it's not supposedly not a real strong tobacco. It's supposedly more caramel type deal. So I've been interested in giving it a try. And hell, a little sample bottle of flavoring, it's a couple of bucks. It's no big deal, and I'll throw it in with my normal flavoring order, so it won't be no big deal. Now, Josh, if you get me hooked on tobacco again, I don't know if we're gonna be friends. Of course, I never back in the day when I vaped tobacco flavoring, it wasn't the good stuff they got nowadays. I mean, it was just supposedly a, a knockoff. I mean, it was supposed to taste like Marlboro Reds, but I mean, this was many years ago when the flavorings weren't near as good as they are nowadays. I mean, way back in the beginning, the flavorings weren't that good. They were okay, but they weren't nothing, compared to what we can get nowadays. Uh, Well, now most of y'all know about my cinnamon roll thing, and yeah, I like vanilla. Uh, and I've been doing experiments lately. I've got the recipe where I want it, so we're done with the recipe. We're done tweaking on it. What I did discover the other day, a couple of good things and a couple of not so good things, was if you do some cost analogy, because y'all know I'm all about the numbers, all about the money. So I discovered the two most costly ingredients are powdered sugar and brown sugar, as far as just going and buying them and how much you use proportionally in the recipe. Those were the two most costly items. Well, I discovered I could make my own powdered sugar. I just got out my little, I got an old, what I call a weed whacker coffee grinder or spice grinder, and put some regular sugar in it, hit the button for, 10 seconds. I had powdered sugar. A third of the cost. Okay. So then I discovered that I could take regular sugar, mix a little molasses in it, and I got brown sugar. Third of the price, if not more. So that almost cut the the true cost of the cinnamon rolls in half. But my big holdback, and what really goes into the rest of this story, was I'm going to be limited to how many I can make in one day, because that's basically, I'm not going to make them 3 days ahead of time, because they're not going to be as fresh as they would be, so I'm going to be limited to how many I can actually make in a day. And I see some videos of these supposedly YouTube certified bakers. Well, that's what we'll call them. And one of them says, "Oh, well, you just, and I'm dealing with real yeast and all that kind of stuff." And for those of you that don't know, let me give you a. Oh, that ain't it. Let me find it. There we go. There's a picture of what I make. Okay, that's without icing. Anyhow, they said that I could, make them basically, and instead of and then put them in the ice box to let the dough rise, because that's the most time-consuming part of the operation, is having the dough rise. Okay. So they said, wrap them up, put them in the ice box, and let them sit overnight till rise. Get them right out, and let them come to room temperature. Throw them in the oven. Okay, sounds good. That would almost double my production if I could do that. Well, we tried that. Yeah, didn't work. Put them in the ice box. Got them out of the ice box the next morning. They looked exactly the same as when I put them in the fucking ice box. They didn't rise a bit. It's like, well, maybe my ice box is too cold. I don't know. I didn't check the temperature, because the idiot doing the video didn't give me no saying, "Oh, well, your ice box has got to be this so-and-so temperature." They just said, put them in the ice box, leave them overnight. Oh, in the morning, you jack the beanstalk. Here you'd have, Yeah, that shit didn't work. Come on. So that was a bust. That person didn't need to be on YouTube. And so I said, just from that knowledge I did acquire from that, which was the shit don't rise in the icebox, which they claimed the yeast would still work, but it wouldn't. It would just be real slow. Okay, didn't work at all. And so I said, well, what knowledge I did glean from that, I said, well, okay, let me take them and get them to the point I'm ready to bake them. They've risen, to where I'm happy with it and I'm ready to bake them. And then I'll put that in the icebox. I tried that last night. And they did deflate a little bit, and I've got them I'm proofing them again right now to see if I can, if they'll come back up to where they were when I put them in the icebox, because they did deflate a little bit, but if they don't come back, then it's not the quality I would sell. They'll taste fine and look halfway decent, but just not the quality I wanted. Well, Adrian, what I was after, I mean, they make, you can do they sell them, and they also, you can make your own a proofing box, which is just basically a little insulated box, or you can even use an ice cooler or whatever, and put you a little bit of some kind of heat source in it or whatever. But I was trying to find, what I was after was find a way that I could do everything but bake them the day before, is what I was after, and I haven't found a way to do that yet. I don't know if the way exists, because some of the now the icebox thing just didn't pan out at all. Some of them claim you can freeze it, but if I got to wait for it to thaw and then proof again or whatever, that defeats the purpose I was looking for. Because what I was looking for was a way to have some already ready to just bake, okay, and have those baking while I'm making some more. Because I could figure I can do 2 batches a day, and I may have to push it to 3, and just to either get up earlier or stay up later, and knock 3 of them out in a day, 3 batches. But I was trying to find a way that would work, but anyhow, it didn't. So now, here's the kicker to the story. And I've said this before, and a lot of people out there may think I'm in the category that some people don't need to make YouTube videos. Y'all might think I'm in that same category. But there's this, I was watching a video early this morning on the freezer part. They claim, you make the dough, get the dough made, and I don't remember if they let it rise once or not rise at all. But anyhow, divide it up and wrap it and freeze it, and then get it out and let it rise, make your bread, da-da-da. Okay. So gal's doing the video, and she's using, which is what I do, because it's just convenient. She's using her bread maker to make her dough, and because on a lot of them there's a dough setting. You can just tell it dough, and it'll mix and knead the dough and then shut off. And I'd have it doing that in the background, while I'm doing other things. I could do it all by hand, but I can get my production up a little bit. Well, anyhow, it has a container where it does its mixing and kneading and all that, and you can take it out. It's got a handle on it. You can take it out of the bread machine, and all that kind of stuff. Well, anyhow, all the ones I've ever seen have a non-stick coating on them on the inside. Mm-hmm. Well, when she's mixing her ingredients, putting her ingredients into her pot, we'll call it, you look down in there. You can see down in there, and the non-stick coating is just scratched to hell and back. And I'm going, what the hell? How did that happen? You know, I mean, mine is impeccable and it's years old, you know, but I wash it with a sponge, you know, a soft sponge. Anyhow, hers is scratched to hell and back. And I'm wondering how that's happening. So anyhow, she starts it, you know, puts all her ingredients in there, lets it start doing this thing, and it's a mixing, you know. And if at one point there's a point in there, just kind of before it goes to kneading or when it first starts kneading the dough, you need to raise the top. And a lot of times there'll be a little bit of dry flour, this, that, the other stuck around the top edge. Well, you scrape it off with a plastic utensil or a silicone utensil. She gets this damn butter knife, metal butter knife. You're just scraping the shit out of that pan. And I'm going, really? Really? You know, and what it reminded me of, now what flashed through my sick, convoluted mind is the old commercials on TV, the ants for vaping, the people against it, telling us how we're inhaling toxic metals, you know, metals into your lungs, metals into your lungs. You know, that commercial popped into my mind while I'm watching this lady scrape the nonstick coating, which God only knows what stuff's in that, you know, off the side of her deal into her dough. And I'm going, really? Really? And it got so bad I just had to shut the video off. I can't watch this, you know. I just can't watch no more of this. And then when she gets the dough out, and she's dividing it up with this butter knife. Anyhow, every once in a while you'll see her. She'll pick, and you go. I mean, and I'm not one to talk about, you know, camera because my camera is the cheapest thing you can buy. But anyhow, it wasn't, you know, you didn't have the resolution enough to see. But so often she'd pick something out of the dough and throw it away. You know, just kind of flick it over on the counter. And it's like, now I wonder what the hell it is she's picking out of the dough and throw it away. And she didn't just do it once, it's several times. She's picking it, throw it, pick it, throw it. And I'm going, that was it. I couldn't. Click off. Let's go to the next video. I could not deal with it. Oh, I couldn't. It was probably pieces of that nonstick coating she did scraped off the side of the till. I don't have a problem with the nonstick coating. You know, if it's the old style school stuff, you got to be careful. If it's on a skillet or something, it's got a temperature range. You can't get it above a certain temperature. You know, and you got to wash it gently. You know, but if you take care of it, and, you know, it'll it won't come off in your food. Unless you decide you need to mix that in. But it just blew my mind, you know. But if I'm limited to just three batches is all I can take to sell, then that'll just be my limit. And if I sell out before 10 o'clock, well, the next week I'll raise the price. But yeah, that was a lot of people don't need to be making videos. And you know, there used to be, you remember on Facebook, I don't know if they still do it or not, because I don't mess with Facebook too much these days. But You know, there used to be like a fact checking thing on Facebook where if you said something, you made a comment, you posted a comment, some fucker would come in and fact check you from Facebook. You know, it wasn't some keyboard warrior; it was actually Facebook, and they don't seem to have that on YouTube. And you know, of course, I cussed it when it was on Facebook, but uh, I can kind of see a use for it to a degree. Let's, you know, let's fact check this shit. Yeah, let's see. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, we are out of topics and we've rambled on now for a good hour and a half. So I think we're going to call the end of this show. Yeah, you know, yeah, vaping's harmful, but here's this old gal scraping the nonstick coating off of her pan into her food. Yeah. Yeah, there were some comments. People advising her. We try to do it every week, Mike, at 1 o'clock my time. I don't know what time it is for you, but 1 p.m. My time. If you subscribe to my channel, Your Vaping Dollar, you should get a notification. Now, sometimes I don't do it till like today. I didn't do it till this morning. I put up the little notification for the live, but we try to do it every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. I think we're on Mountain Time right now. Out here. I missed your deal, Mike. Did you say you were in Australia, or was it some other country that I don't know the abbreviation for? I think I missed it. 8:30 in the a.m. That's got to be Australia. Well, that's cool. I think you're the only person I got from Australia that comes in the chat. That's cool. Thanks for coming by. You're always welcome. You can watch me and drink your morning coffee. Anyhow, I think we're going to call it quits for today, folks. And thank everybody for, yeah, hot tea. There you go. I forget, you know. Thank everybody for coming by. Thank everybody that participated in the chat. And if you're just watching, that's cool too. Because 9 times out of 10, most shows I watch, live shows, you know, I'll, you know, say hello to everybody in chat, and then I very seldom comment in chat myself, you know. So, but thanks everybody for coming by. Thanks for watching. Thank everybody for watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, and don't hesitate to comment on the replays if you want to. Andrew, who is the last Legion thing I knew was the guys we had over here that were way out there. I'm thinking this is a different Legion. These are like these guys are from the UK, right? The ones you're talking about. Oh, he's from Australia. Oh, I'll have to check that out. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching replay. Don't anticipate a problem not having a show next week. Whether we'll have any content or not, that's totally up for um, debate. But we'll muddle through, do the best we can. And but thanks everybody for coming, and have a good afternoon or a good night or a good morning in some cases. So we'll see you next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.